for joining us on this lovely Wednesday evening. I just want to remind you that Father's Day in the U.S. and some other countries is this Sunday. So I want to say Happy Father's Day to all the beloved fathers that are out there.
Happy Father's Day in advance. I hope you guys get spoiled rotten by your family members, by your children, by your wife, by your mother, by everybody.
Absolutely.
I'm going to share us into the Caribbean edge, so give me a quick minute, okay, guys?
Okay, and we also want to thank Antoinette Drummond for suggesting tonight's topic, which we know is going to be an amazing subject to cover. Just different point of view, perspectives where we are in 2019. And first and foremost, we want to thank the Reggae Girls for just being amazing. You have the Caribbean behind you. You have the world behind you. So many supporters for all your hard work, dedication to the sport, and the example that you're setting for all the upcoming soccer, football, young ladies, young girls that are out there for the love of sport. So thank you for the amazing job. We wish you continued success as you yourself continue your journey. Now, tonight's topic is about a husband, Dan Caspi, who moved his girlfriend into his home while taking care of his sick wife, Barbara Smith. Barbara Smith is a Wilhelmina model. She's 69 years old, and she was diagnosed with Alzheimer's about 6 years ago. She owned her own restaurant and has been in the public eye for years. At one point, she was known as the Black Barbie, so she has a famous lifestyle. And her husband, they were married, and he was her business partner, or they are married, sorry, and he is her business partner for 2 decades as well. So the story came out on Facebook because the husband posted a picture of himself and his girlfriend, a blonde lady, with the caption that said, "Hate it or love it, you can debate, but for me, I'm feeling great." And then he put in hashtag why lie. So he's happy in love is what he's saying. And it's controversial because there's been a lot of backlash about how could you move your girlfriend into your home that your wife and you have built, and mainly your wife is seen as, because she was so financially stable and successful, and now you've moved another woman. So how do we feel about that? We're about to discuss it along with your point of view, so please leave your comments and we'll discuss them on the show.
Where do we start? I've seen so many different opinions on this particular scenario. I've seen so many different opinions. I've seen where mostly the men are saying that we should be okay with it.
Oh wow!
I did notice that, and I noticed that most of the women are saying, "Wow, how? Why?
Yeah.
What is he thinking? How could I handle that? It's disrespectful." You know me, I'm a live and let live kind of person. I am a live and let live kind of person. I truly am. If that's what works for you, then all right. My concern is whether or not Mrs. Smith, whether or not she knows what she's really condoning, what she's doing. Is she truly okay with it? If this was someone who didn't have Alzheimer's and had maybe some kind of other sickness where she is in a stable mind, then I could say and probably speak somewhat on her behalf or their behalf.
Right.
But she's not. So is she really understanding what she decided to accept?
Right. So realistically, with Alzheimer's, I don't believe she understands, and that's factual. You know, it's like you're a child. You've gone back, even beyond being a child at this stage, you just don't remember. You can pay a bill right now and forget in 2 seconds that you paid the bill. And that's what Alzheimer's patients do. They'll forget your name, they'll forget who you are, and we've seen it where they'll forget their own child's name. So how can you, if you're saying she agreed to this arrangement, she doesn't remember agreeing to this arrangement. She just knows that this woman is in her home as probably a friend, but it's not going to register to her that this is my husband that I've been married to for years. This is his girlfriend, and I'm agreeing that it's okay.
Okay, let me stop you right there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
She agreed that it was okay, right? The only issue here is whether or not she remembers.
She won't.
She
right.
Basically, she agreed though. Supposedly, in a stable state of mind, she agreed. The issue with Alzheimer's is that she doesn't remember that she agreed.
She can agree that she murdered someone yesterday, and it's not factual. So she is not of sound mind for someone to say, well, she agreed, knowing that she's been diagnosed with Alzheimer's.
Totally different situation, agreeing with murder. A totally different situation that cannot be compared in no way. You're having a discussion with your husband, the man who takes care of you during the sickness. Mm-hmm. And you agreed with him when you were diagnosed. She agreed when she was first diagnosed. She said to him, it wasn't even an agreement. Mm-hmm. She said to him, I want you to live your life. I want you to be happy. I want you to do. This is what I read. What I read could be wrong.
Okay. So did she say, I agree, I want you to move your girlfriend in the house?
Well, moving the girlfriend in was a totally different thing. That I have no idea if she agreed with that.
Yeah.
She might have agreed for him to live his life, find someone who he can truly be in love with and have a real relationship with. But she probably would not have agreed for him to move it.
So I think that's why it's controversial, right? Because a lot of people, whether it's Alzheimer's or it's something else, because you love the person you're with so much, you may say, I still want you to live your life. Now, if I said that to you, I may really mean it, or I could mean, I really want you to say, no, honey.
Of course.
I made a commitment to you till death do us part, through sickness and health.
People say things
That's
they don't
my
mean.
vow.
People say things they don't mean.
And you're
all the
hoping
time.
the other person comes back. So we can guess this all we want. I think where it crosses the line is when you've now moved in the person, knowing that this person doesn't have the mental capacity to make a sound judgment. She's going to forget she agreed, if she did agree, that you should move into the house. So I think that's where people are like, wow, that's taking it to a next level.
Taking advantage of her.
Right.
Basically.
You can still have your relationship outside of the home if that's your choice. However, why bring it into your home? Why bring it into the home that this woman has financially established? You know,
basically,
she was more successful as far as I know.
Basically, disrespect. Yeah.
So now she is paying, and some people even go as far as saying, this is a black woman now paying for a white woman to live in her house. So for those people, we can't avoid it. Some people look at it from that standpoint
color. From a race / color.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Would it be different if it was another black woman? I don't know.
Maybe for some.
For some, maybe. But I think the big thing is, you know, some people say he didn't put her into a nursing home, right? So he's still taking care of her. But why move the other woman in? And I think that's where the debate comes in from what we've seen as well. Yeah. So I'm going to read some of the comments that were put in before the show, because some of them are quite interesting. So Chinlu says, move in is a bit much. Don't judge until you've walked in the caregiver's shoe. So the caregiver being the husband at this point. So good point, and we've said on shows before, it's when, unless you're put in that situation, it's
you
not the same.
You cannot say what you're going to do.
But in this case, I don't know, Chinlu. So you say move in, and some of them, you know, the comments are on point how people feel. So Kenneth Damley, jealousy aside, live life. Wife would hardly know the difference. is one of the comments he made. And which is true. She's not going to know the difference because, you know, she doesn't know. She doesn't know that this is her.
Okay, but let me speak to that. Let me speak to that comment.
Right.
She's not going to know the difference. She may not know the difference. So then, basically, you're taking advantage of the fact that she does not know the difference.
And there are times she may know. Right. And there are times she might. It just depends how advanced Alzheimer's is.
I read, I think it was something that was dated May of 2019, so quite recent, where they said that her condition moved from mild in 2014, when she was originally diagnosed. It has now moved from mild to moderate.
Right. Okay.
So what I also read about Alzheimer's is you have periods of realness. You have periods of understanding that this is real life, of being able to keep current, being in a stable mind. So you are having those moments where you are going to realize, her in particular, she in particular, where she is going to realize that, wow, I am allowing my husband to live here with me, with his girlfriend, while he takes care of me. And from what I understand, the girlfriend is also taking care of her.
Yeah.
From what I understand.
But with her finances as well.
I get that.
Right.
No, I get that. But imagine you moving in a girlfriend that's going to take care of your wife. I mean,
Absolutely.
She loves this man. Right, she totally,
loves him.
obviously there's a love between these two people, him and his girlfriend, for both of them to collaboratively take care of this woman.
Okay, let's play devil's advocate.
That's what I'm doing.
She moved in and she's taking care of his wife. However, she's also taking care of herself because she has, from what I understand, she has 3 kids. Nothing against that, absolutely. But here's an opportunity, so to speak, for you to move into a wealthy household.
Of course.
And live with another man and his wife.
Of course.
That he made a commitment to. So as the other woman doing that, what does that say about you as an individual, your character? And I'm not judging her. I'm just posing that out there for everyone because she didn't move into a household where the guy had no money. So what's to say financial gain isn't a reason to move in? One way or the other. She may have done it if he was broke. I don't know. But this particular situation, his wife is filthy rich from what I understand.
So it could be a financial gain.
So she has nothing to lose as far as I am concerned, except her reputation by moving in and being able to live in a wealthy lifestyle if she didn't have that on her own. And I don't know that because it doesn't say.
Let me speak to that as well. You and I have talked about situations, scenarios, love, relationships on our own, you and I, personally, not on the show. And you and I have always said that we're not the type, if we were the type to go after, to basically go after men with money, we basically said we wish we were, because then we wouldn't have to work for a living, we wouldn't have to worry about money, and we both said it, we're not that type of woman. I'm married for love. I will always be in a relationship for love. It's all about love for me. It has always been. And I think for you, and I think for most women. So who's to say that this woman is not madly in love with this man to the point where she wants him to stay happy while taking care of his wife, because that's what he promised, and that she truly moved in with him because she can't live without him, because she's in love with him, and she wants to see him happy.
But why move into his house?
I don't know. She loves him. She
Right,
wants
but
to
you
be
can
with him.
love him
She
and
wants
be
to stay
with
with him.
him.
She wants to live with him. Don't you want to live with the love of your life, Dawn Wilson? Dawn Wilson, don't you want to live with the love of your life?
If I found him, but I would, if you're asking me personally if I would do it, absolutely not.
I don't think so.
I could not move into a house
Right.
with another man, no matter how much I loved him. And I wouldn't mind helping his wife, don't get me wrong, because I care for people. But knowing I'm sleeping in the house that you and your wife built your future on, especially her money built most of it, even though he was there to support her career as her manager, I could not get up every morning and be with you intimately and help you take care of your wife. I could come there. I could see myself coming there and helping you take care of your wife, but to move into your home, no. We would have to get a separate house, whether it's close by, but we would live separately while you continue to take care of your wife, if I chose to be
I like
in
that
that
arrangement.
situation.
I like that arrangement, but for some reason, maybe they couldn't make that arrangement. For some reason, finances probably didn't allow them to make
they have
that arrangement. You don't know. Look at you making the call. Wow.
Well, if they don't
Wow.
have, she has her own home.
I'm playing devil's advocate.
I know.
Just not, let's
we
not
are.
Yeah.
And she, from what I read, she lives in Manhattan, which is, I forget if it's an hour or so away from where he lives with his wife. So it's a commute. So they don't want that commute. Guess what? You're going to have to see me every weekend or something. But I do not see myself moving into the same household with your wife. I get the situation that you want to still have a life.
But it's not
and
for you. You're saying it's not for you.
Just not.
And that's fine.
Not.
Everybody's different. Can we hear what our guests have to say right now so we can respond and get this conversation pumping?
And someone, Courtney Pinups, said it's disrespectful for his current wife, going back to what some of our men have to say as well about this particular situation. So Tasan, thanks for joining us, says, how do we know that was not their lifestyle throughout their entire marriage? I'm trying to look at this at both sides. Let's entertain the possibility. That's what they're used to.
Very true, Tishan, very true. It could have been an open marriage all for quite some time.
Right, but I think that's a huge speculation.
It is.
I think based on what I read, to answer that is she was always on him about his flirtatious ways. But he did state when he met this new lady, Alex, her name is Alex. When he met Alex, he had never cheated on his wife. So I did read that.
Do you believe that?
I don't know. I'm just saying that's what he has stated.
Well, you have a lot of beliefs. So I'm wondering, do you believe that?
I believe what I would do. And I know based on what he's putting out in the public. So we have to go by that, true or false, that she was his first girlfriend
since he's been married.
Since he's been married.
And
True or
she should
false?
be.
He's probably was a flirt, which a lot of us flirt, right?
Right. Harmless flirtations.
Absolutely. I remember someone, Sasha Lebeck, I love reading this comment because it made me laugh. She said, madness. Entire house I got mash up as I remove my own IV. There's no IV, but
that was funny. That was hilarious when I read it.
So she's like, no, that wouldn't happen to her. So I guess when she was in her conscious state of mind, she would have just mashed up the house.
Right.
So definitely, I can see a lot of people saying that, and one person also made the comment like, is this like real? Because we don't hear about it, so it's really good that we're having the conversation about it as well.
It happens more often than we know. I can tell you from other experiences. It happens way more often than that is broadcasted. Who's going to broadcast? Who's going to broadcast something like that?
But I think it got really messy when he went on Facebook and social media and posted this. And then because I believe she was considered the Black Barbie, so to speak, people's heart went out because he moved her into the house and he made it public like it was nothing. We did hear from Nurse Gwendolyn, so thanks, Lynn, for tuning in. She says, boundaries, if she agreed before, how does she now express changing her mind. I don't know if she actually agreed before. He's saying that I don't think she agreed to him moving in. I don't think we've clarified that
But
that's
not
happened yet.
Yeah.
And, you know, she says people with dementia do know. Well, comments keep moving as people comment on here. I want to go back and find her comment, but she pretty much said people do know they're in and out as far as of their correct state of mind, so to speak.
I thought so. I've heard so. I've read that.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Imagine you come to mind, right? You're in a stable part of your whole being, and you realize, wow, my husband moved in this woman.
Yeah.
And like how Sasha said, you might all of a sudden decide to mash up the place. Like all of a sudden, let me just throw glasses, throw stuff around because my husband decided to do this. And then you go back into your other state
where you're fine.
Right.
So, you know, I spoke to someone today about it, and she's someone that is married, and I said, what do you think about this? And she said, you know, it's partial caring. You know, I care about my wife, but I care more about myself. And that stuck with me because it's a state of selfishness as far as what I can see for her husband. It's like, yeah, he wants to still live his life and be happy, but he also has a commitment to the woman he married. And I think, you know, no one wants to say, hey, you should divorce her, especially when she's sick. So at least he's not doing that. And some people have said he's not moving her into a nursing home either, which is great. But how fair is it, or how selfless is it for you to still move another woman into your home that your wife pretty much established or built with you for all these years? And I think that's why I love that it's a partial caring for this person, because it's a selfish act for yourself. Where are those wedding vows for people that believe in it? And I think a lot of us get married really early in life, and if we know what we only know now back then, we're probably not married to the person that you really love or care about, or you've grown apart. You thought you loved that person then, you know. So for me, looking back at my journey in life, I'd say, man, like when I'm in my 40s and 50s, is when you really know what you want. You're more established, you can make better decisions. But when you get married really, really young and you stick it through for 20, 30, 40 years, and you're with the wrong person, it's so difficult, because then you don't divorce or you stick with it. So this kind of reminded me of that situation, being partially caring for someone.
Who else wants to know what had interesting comments on it? Not a lot of people, but
there's a lot of people tuning in. Sen said, I don't want my boyfriend to have a wife, but as long as they're happy and there's no foul play. So you don't want your boyfriend to have a wife, okay? But they're all happy.
What's foul play?
Not sure. Can you clarify the foul play?
Define foul play.
So I think,
what are you trying to say without saying it, Zen? You're trying to say something.
So a lot of people will probably say, you know, he's not lying. He's putting his relationship out there. He's not, to him, probably, he's not cheating on his wife. He's still taking care of her.
With her knowledge.
And from what I understand, his daughter, I don't believe they have kids together, but he has a kid prior to the marriage, and she's in her 30s, and she thinks her dad is taking care of his wife, despite the fact that his girlfriend now lives there. So his daughter is okay with it, nonetheless. So it's,
that's his daughter.
Yeah. So a lot of people will say, at least he doesn't have her in a nursing home. At least he didn't divorce her. He's still taking care of her, which is all fine and dandy, but are you sticking to your vows till death do us part, through sickness and in health? How does that play a role for people that are bound by those religious beliefs as well, that they made a commitment, you know, unless there's something that makes you go your separate ways?
People don't realize that marriage is commitment. First of all,
yes.
People talk about marriage. Oh, I love him. I want to spend the rest of my life with him. I want to. Marriage is commitment. That commitment word is wow.
Yeah.
It's huge. It's huge. And like you said earlier, we get married when we're really young, and we don't realize that commitment is marriage. That marriage is commitment. So you make sacrifices because of the commitment that you made. Yeah. You have to. If this is what you agree to, if this is what your vows basically said. Do you get divorced now because you no longer want to stay committed?
Well, he would be slammed.
Do you get divorced? Well, not even so much him, just generally speaking.
Yeah.
Do you get divorced? You got married so young. Now you realize, wow, what a commitment. What was I thinking? So do you get divorced now? Whether or not you're involved with a wife or let's say a spouse who's sick, terminally ill, someone to take care of. It's so much going on there for us to sit here and judge and say, well, what is he thinking? How disrespectful is this? I do see a form of disrespect. Mm-hmm. I agree with that 100%. My whole thing is I would have to dig into Alzheimer's more to say whether or not I truly believe that she does not know what she's doing. I would not sit here and say to you that woman does not know what she's doing. I will not.
Yeah. And
I would have to dig into Alzheimer's more.
And I know about it.
That statement.
I know enough about it. I watched my aunt have it just briefly because she was put into an assisted living facility. She also owned one. And I can tell you, you don't remember a lot of the times certain things, or you remember recent memories, or you can remember a lot of things. I've called her and she tells me she's in Jamaica, and I know she's not in Jamaica. She just doesn't remember. So her memory is just flashbacks of her life. And even before she was diagnosed, we knew she had it before the doctors even would diagnose her as it. Not to say, that's the same situation, but a lot of our viewers are in the healthcare field as well. And yes, like you said, we do have to know more about it. At the end of the day, for me, I believe, it's tough. It's tough because I firmly believe people should live their life. It's one life to live. You should be happy. You should enjoy it. But I don't think you do it at someone else's expense. And I think in this situation, based on the facts that I know as of today, that it is disrespectful. It's partially caring for her at her own expense because she built her empire with him, supporting her through the years as her manager, of course. But, if it was my mom or someone I cared about, and I would want to see him hire someone to take care of her versus me and my girlfriend are taking care of my mom. It's just...
Oh, well, I'm the opposite. If it were my mom or anybody else, I would leave them to do what makes them happy. No matter what.
In your mom's home?
Yes. I would, if that's what my mom wanted.
She doesn't know.
You don't know that. You don't know Alzheimer's to the extent that you should. You don't know that.
And do we have any doctors or nurses that
you don't know tell that. Us? So I would leave them to live in their so-called happy state. In their so-called happy state. But honestly, if you ask me what I would do, I'm a very jealous person.
Yes, and that's
I
me.
do not.
I
don't know how to share my man.
Yeah.
I've never known how to share him. Yeah. I've done it when I was younger, and I call myself foolish for it because I put myself through a lot of pain. But I don't know how to do it. I hope that I'm never put into the position.
I'm the same way, very jealous.
I hope that I'm never put into that position where I have to share my mind. Because I'm very emotional. I feel a lot. I love really deeply. I hurt really bad. When I hurt, it's the pain is intense. So I can't say that I can put up with something like that. I cannot say that I'll be okay with it, but again, I would have to be in those shoes.
Yeah, and I think a lot of our viewers can relate to that.
Yeah.
When you're passionate and you love deeply, when another woman is in the picture, it's just like your heart is ripped out.
Oh my gosh! Practically, someone said on one of the comments, I think it was Ken, that practically, of course.
Yeah.
Forget your emotions, forget how you feel. That's so hard to do.
It is. That's why I couldn't see another woman in my house.
Because you're feeling it. So it's very hard to forget what you feel. You're feeling it. Practically, I get it. Oh my God. Perfect. Perfect for everybody. Perfect for everybody.
Some more comments. Gwendolyn, our nurse, says, moving the girlfriend in is totally selfish. And I agree with that, Gwendolyn, absolutely. Sandy Johnson, thanks for tuning in as well, Sandy. Why move the woman in? His daughter is also taking care of the wife. I'm not saying not to get involved with someone else, but she does not have to be there.
And that's the problem that most people have.
Yeah.
Why did you think that you had to go that extra step? And I wish I had him right here. I wish I had him right here in the middle of both of us, because I'm dying to hear him basically justify what he did. I want to hear that justification, because I can't see it in my mind. I can't see the justification. I can't see it, which is why I would love to have him here between us. Just
maybe he'll come after watching this. But Gwendolyn, thanks again, Lindsay, says, so if you choose to partially honor your marriage vows and commit adultery, at least keep your girlfriend out of the house, whether she knows all the time or not. It's about the principle, and I think that's how I feel. It's absolutely true for me, at least.
Right. Everybody's different.
Okay, Chinlu said, let's be honest. He would be chastised if he put her in a home. I can't say I agree with him moving the girlfriend in, but neither will I judge. And that's true, he would. If he put her into a nursing home, and, you know, based on finances, which we don't know, we know she was successful, he can hire a caregiver. That's why they have home health care agencies and registries and nurses that can take care of her and not sleep with her husband. And I think that's where people find it challenging to accept why move her in, even if you're going to have a girlfriend. So I don't think anything I've read or the conversation says he shouldn't still live a happy life and love, especially if, you know, whatever situation he thinks he discussed it with her, but moving another woman into the home, making it so public and saying, hey, it's in your face, this is my life, I'm not lying about it, is where all her fans for years are saying, where is this? And I believe they've actually gone to court to protect her rights as well, because she's not, she has Alzheimer's. She, you know, like
she's not in a stable state of mind
to make decisions financially. So who's to say? Obviously, someone thinks she could be, or potentially be taken advantage of, where they're going to take it to the courts as well. So very interesting situation here. Ken Ritchie, thanks for joining us. We live on modern times, would come under the category of an open marriage, and society sees it that way. Michelle Hussein, no, and no. Whatever happens to morals and principle, my son would kill him. No. She said no. So obviously, good point, Michelle, because your children, you know, when I read she doesn't, but I thought of that too. It's like, if she did have children,
what would they think?
Would they be open to their mom's husband, their dad bringing girlfriend living in their home? So great point is, like, if there were kids involved, they may not take likely to having the other woman live in the house with them. So we're going to wrap it up with final thoughts. If you have any additional comments, we love to see them. We go back in after the show and also respond to the comments as best we can. We love reading them. We love that you tune in and join us every week. So thank you so much. Any final words,
everyone? Final thoughts. Wow. I want him here. That's my final thought. My final thought is I want him. I want the horse's mouth. I want to hear why is it that he thought it was okay to move that woman into the house.
Yeah.
I want to hear that because I cannot fathom it. I cannot fathom it.
Yeah.
In any situation, in any scenario. As much as I'm a live and let live, I am. You do. If that's what makes you happy, fine. But I want to hear what's behind his reasoning and his thoughts and everything in regards to moving her into the house. It is definitely disrespectful in a marriage because these are vows. This is commitment in sickness and in health. Granted, you might have discussed that now that I have been diagnosed with Alzheimer's, you can still live your life. I want you to be happy. If you need to find someone, go ahead and do that. But the moving in is what I need to understand, and I'm really trying to figure out. I'm sure there are reasons behind it that we cannot probably begin to think of because it's so appalling.
I think for me, just final thoughts are, you have to, like we all do, know, who we're married to, try to make the right choice, be in love.
Don't marry when you're 20-something years old.
I know, right? Know the person. Am I going to grow with this person? It's all about choices, having kids, who you're having kids with. And do I see myself continuing on this journey with someone and trying to make the best decision at that time? But yeah, difficult for us as we get older in life. These are some of the things that we're faced with. Decisions, right?
Wait until you're in your 30s, maybe 40, before you think about getting married, because you grow, you learn. That person is also growing and learning. Oh my
But when
God.
you're young and in love, you can't tell us anything different, right?
It's the worst decision ever to get married in your 20s.
But just think about it. You're probably looking at your partner going, can I get old with you or not? And when you get there, there's some tough decisions to make.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Well, thank you for joining another episode of the Caribbean Edge. We so appreciate you and look forward to seeing you on our next episode.
Thanks, Antoinette, for giving us this topic of discussion. I think it's a good one, a hot one, and I hope everyone take good care until we see you next.
Yay. Have a great night.
Ciao for now.
Bye.